family happy. And now at the Williamsburg Village Wings and Rings, you can enjoy $1.50 tall boys in Bud Light, Coors Light, Busch Light, and Michelob Ultra every day after 7 p.m. and all day on Sundays. Get to Wings and Rings today and make sure to stop by on Tuesdays for 89-cent wings. Brown Shoe Fit has all types of shoes for you to excel this summer. Check out their new Keen and Tiva brand sandals for hiking and Olukai sandals for sitting by the pool. Plus, they're stocked up on Hey Dudes to catch you up on the latest shoe fashion. They also have shoes in brands like Brooks, Hoka, Merrell, On, and many more. Browns has the local professionals to get the proper fit, aided by their high-tech foot scanner by Aetrex. Stop by Brown Shoe Fit today, just south of 66 and Q in Lincoln.
If you're interested in installing solar panels in Nebraska, there's a name you need to know. Trick is based at your project because River of Solar by Alpine Electric will be involved in the entire process from start to finish. We're an REC Solar Certified Pro installer and handle jobs in Lincoln and the surrounding area. Let us show you time results in your area. Call Rick today at 402-440-4371. Solar by Alpine Electric.
Hi, Sean Callahan here for Copple Chevrolet GMC, and we are celebrating a record sales month in April, and we're going to let it roll and crank up in the month of May. We have some big discounts and special interest rates going on this month on selected new in-stock Sierras and Silverados. Buy a new Silverado or Sierra, get $3,000 off or 1.9% interest. You heard right, $3,000 off or 1.9% interest. We have outstanding specials on all of our new and pre-owned GM certified units. So stop on in and see us or check us out online at copplecars.com. You'll be glad you did. New discount, must trade in and finance with the roof credit.
John Henry's Plumbing, heating and
When it comes to your home or business, we know you have options, and that's why John Henry's Plumbing, Heating, and Air Conditioning gives you just that, options. We have plumbing, heating, and cooling memberships to serve all of your residential and commercial needs. We want to ensure you, your family, and your business are safe. Visit our website, jhlincoln.com, to find out more or call us at
435-5550. John
The best way to learn about East Community College is to visit, and you can check out our spaces before you visit in person with a virtual campus tour, an opportunity to see our campus in Beatrice, Lincoln, and Milford as you learn about our programs and areas of study. There are virtual tours of our learning centers too. We can even take you on a personalized virtual tour. Learn more on our website, southeast.edu/visit SCC. SCC, your path to possible.
Hey, it's Nicklin Hames from Nebraska Volleyball time in practice, and I want to help you stop wasting your time when you're looking for an electrician. High Electric has been serving the area for over 30 years for both residential and commercial properties. They are experts in everything like remodeling, new additions, hot tub installation, and more. And they take jobs from Beatrice to Omaha and all towns, big or small, in between. Call them today at 402-466-6606 or learn more at high-electric.com.
Wall-to-Wall Wine and Spirits is now open in Lincoln. Shop our expansive collection of wine, beers, spirits, and cigars at 5040 North 26th Street. From top shelf liquor to crowd favorite beer, Wall-to-Wall Wine and Spirits has a beverage for every taste and every budget. Plus, join our loyalty program to earn rewards and save on future purchases. Shop Wall-to-Wall Wine and Spirits at 5040 27th Street in Lincoln, 5040 North 27th Street.
Spring is here, and Acres has special financing on all John Deere lawn tractors and zero-turn mowers. Get your yard looking great and use John Deere's wide selection of attachments to landscape your property to perfection. And for a limited time, with a purchase of a new John Deere mower, get up to $200 to apply to the steel power tool of your choice. From trimmers to chainsaws, gas or electric, Acres is your home for products and service. Salute every field.
You came across someone struggling with hunger. How would you recognize them? By their clothes, their age, the way they speak? Would you notice a 16-year-old boy who got his first job,
not for extra spending money, but to help feed his little sisters?
Or a mother who's in between jobs and sometimes goes to bed hungry so her kids can have dinner? Or a 14-year-old girl who signs up to every after-school activity, not to make friends, but just to get something to eat. Or a retiree who fell ill and had to choose
between getting medicine or groceries.
I am the 1 in 8 Americans who struggle with hunger. People you pass by every day but never knew were hungry. I am hunger in America.
Hunger can be hard to recognize. Learn why at IamHungerInAmerica.org. Brought to you by Feeding America, 200 Food Bank Strong, and the Ad Council.
This is Lincoln's home for sports talk on the FM dial. The home of Kansas City Royals, on TKFM First, 93.7 The Ticket. This is the Happy Hour.
You guys going to happy hour?
Coming at you live from the heart of Lincoln, America.
Yeah, I'll come for a couple.
Here are your hosts, Nick Sainert.
I want to know what it's like to commit a crime without having to spend time in jail.
And Enrique Alvarez Clary.
C is for chunk.
Brought to you by Empire Fence and Netting on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Happy Friday, everybody. Welcome into the happy hour here on 93.7 The Ticket, theticketfm.com. I am Rico. I am joined by one of my favorite co-hosts, Jake Bakoven from the Ticket Water Cooler.
That's right.
No Ticket Water Cooler today, as we are following up Adam Carricker and Jeff Turn as they had their Big Ten show with it's a lot of Big Ten news, talking about who they believe might win the Big Ten next season. I think they were going with the favorites, except for Carricker. He decided to flip the script, go with Penn State. But, you know, they were doing their thing there. And another one of my favorites, even though he's not a co-host of mine, Austin Orman.
I mean, I feel like this week I am a co-host of yours.
I mean, you practically are.
I've hosted more than Nick has, co-hosted more than Nick has this week.
That is true. That is 100% true. And again, for anybody wondering, Nick is not sick. None of that. He is out on a boat.
He's on a boat.
Kansas? I think it's Kansas. Could be Missouri. Yeah. He's in a different state.
He graduated.
Yeah, he technically graduates tomorrow.
Oh, he didn't graduate.
No, not yet.
Not yet.
Technically graduates tomorrow. So congratulations to him. So he's on a boat all weekend, doing his thing, catching fish or taking fish from his friends or his family and saying that he caught those fish and taking pictures. But whatever. I have gone on long enough. I am going to say a couple more things. Starter Heyman Jewelers live video stream, Facebook, YouTube, Twitch, Twitter. Join us on there. You can check out our beautiful faces or on Allo, channel 951. And you can get in contact with the show, 402-464-5685. And I would really appreciate it if you did, because we have a little bit of important news to share, a little bit of quarterback news in terms of the state of Nebraska, not really the University of Nebraska, although it might be. Daniel Kalen, Bellevue West quarterback, 3-star in the 2024 class, has decommitted from the University of Missouri. Ooh. What does it mean?
It means Dylan Raiola is not transferring to Nebraska.
Oh, does it?
That's what it means.
It is. I mean, it's huge news. You got to believe for Nebraska, and you wonder if they're, how much they're behind this. That's the immediate thought. In Austin, you kind of brought it up right away during the break. Was like, okay, does this necessarily mean Nebraska is the reason why? And maybe not. I mean, North Carolina was pretty high on him. He had them in his final. I think Miami had in his final 5 that he picked from, and Nebraska was not amongst that. But again, all of that was with the backdrop of Dylan Raiola and Nebraska going hard after him. It's fascinating. I mean, obviously, you want to protect the borders. You want to get the in-state kids. But I mean, he particularly comes with a group of pretty impressive players over there at Bellevue West. And, there's a certain time. I mean, heck, 2 weeks ago, you might have said, I don't know if they're going to get any of the Bellevue West kids with this kind of news. And hopefully it does lead something to Nebraska. You might say, well, they can grab a grand all of them.
Nebraska seems like the most likely option here. I think it has to. But again, I don't want to get my hopes too far up just in case it doesn't mean that. Because again, in-state kid, Nebraska, did recruit him, was on him, went after him. And I hope that his relationship with, McMorris and Hall, the 2 Bellevue West wide receivers, is solid. Because if Nebraska gets the commitment from Kalen, I would hope those other 2 would follow. But again, not everything's a shoo-in. Not everything is necessarily, Nebraska's back and we're here to stay. Bo Pelini post Arizona. So it's a good sign, I think, for Nebraska. I think that we're one step closer to answering the 25 and 26 quarterback question now. But again, signed, sealed, delivered, please, as soon as possible.
To me, and if you go through his 24/7 recruiting profile, he has interest from obviously Missouri, Arizona State, Colorado. I'm only going to read the places that have offered him a scholarship according to 24/7 Sports: Colorado, Duke, Florida State, Kansas State, Miami, Michigan State, Minnesota, Nebraska. Oh my gosh, there's a lot. Maybe I should separate. Okay, no, we're good. Rutgers, Vanderbilt, Virginia. Those are the schools that have offered him a scholarship. Schools that have shown interest after that: Iowa, Iowa State, Notre Dame, Ole Miss, Wisconsin. But out of those schools that have offered him a scholarship, to me, the only reason he would decommit at this time would be because Nebraska missed out on the commitment of Dylan Raiola. They shifted their priority, shifted their focus onto Danny Kaelin, and I don't really know what they told him or what I don't want to say promises, but what they told him to get him to decommit from a place where I did not think he was leaving based on the tweets and everything that he'd been posting about Missouri, the fact that he'd gone on another visit down there and talking about this is home and everything a couple weeks ago. I didn't think he was decommitting from Missouri at all. Didn't think there was a chance in heck that Nebraska would get him to decommit. And again, not saying Nebraska got him to, but in my eyes, that's the only school that makes sense for him to decommit from Missouri at this time. If
it's Nebraska, this decision to me comes because Daniel Kaelin wanted to go here all along. That's what makes sense to me, because I think, as the competitor in him would say, yeah, I'm just as good as Dylan Raiola. I can be just as good as him. I might even be better. But I think if you look at the ratings, you watch any film, you understand the human part of you, why Nebraska would go after this other kid. But if you're willing to decommit from Missouri, that tells me, number one, that you wanted to come back home all along. And I don't think you're coming back now just because you'll feel like a priority all of a sudden. To me, I'm going to go out on a limb and say Matt Rule and the staff did a good job of making Daniel Kaelin feel like as much of a priority as they could have given the circumstance. If they just treated him like some other quarterback from out of state, talked to him here and there, not kept in contact, let him go, whatever, he probably doesn't decommit. He probably stays with Missouri. But to me, the fact that he's still, decommitting from Missouri, and again, we've seen crystal balls in favor of Nebraska already, just a few minutes in from the decommitment, that to me, reading between the lines, says the coaching staff did a good job of staying on him and making that relationship feel strong and genuine, even though they were targeting someone else as well.
Well, it's interesting too, because I think that, I've kind of battled with the idea when you're Matt Rule, you step in, you've got a great class all of a sudden in 2023 and 2024, but particularly for this 2024 class, it's like, okay, well, but he didn't have a whole lot of time to develop relationships with them. And so, you kind of give the new staff a pass, and there's nothing you really do, but just in your head, give them a pass on maybe missing out on some of the top talent in the state. Like you said, whatever delicate balance that he was able to do, because we talked about it. It's not a secret. It's basically brought up and brought up on the text line every time you talk about it. Is like, how do you make Daniel Kaelin feel wanted when he's obviously not the number one option? And whatever they did, and however they've done it, has been, incredible. I just kind of written Kaelin off the board just because of how much he's been peer recruiting at Missouri. You can see it on his Twitter. He's always talking about come home to some of the players and have a little tiger emoji or something.
Zoo or whatever they call it.
That's good too. I mean, if Nebraska does get him, some quarterbacks are kind of, like maybe full of themselves, whatever, or just not necessarily a peer recruiter. He could be a guy that if they do bring him in, like we said, not only could bring in the Bellevue West receivers, which naturally you might want to play with him at the next level, but start to get some of those other guys like Williams Dewar. That's a guy that had interest in Nebraska and Missouri. And he's been, he kind of tweeted when Williams Dewar kind of talked about potentially visiting Missouri. So, this could be huge. Again, like Austin says, you don't want to get too excited about it, but at the same time, you know what? It's May. We don't have football for a few months, so it's something.
We're going to talk about it.
Let's get excited anyway.
We're going to talk about it. And the big thing you talk about peer recruiting, although he's not of the same caliber as Dylan Raiola, he's still a very not highly ranked, but his skill set fits really well for a lot of other players. Just you see the numbers that he puts up at Bellevue West. You see the athletes that he plays with and how he makes them look good, at Davon Hall and Isaiah McMorris, how they're, highly rated as well. That makes people want to play with you. And just getting a quarterback really in whatever type of recruiting class really helps to peer recruit. I understand that there are other positions that can, everybody can peer recruit. Everybody can do that. But just knowing that you'll have, this is going to be your quarterback. This is the guy that you're coming in with. And when he starts to play, you start to play, you guys are meshing and you have all that going together for you. And you can just see this is going to be the future of this program and I'm going to be with him. I think that really helps Nebraska and should help Nebraska going forward, building their 2024 classes. Just having, again, we're just, guessing since he decommitted. Again, if you hadn't heard, Daniel Kalen, the Bellevue West quarterback, class of 2024, 3-star quarterback, decommits from Missouri. And we're just saying that he's going to go to Nebraska. Again, we don't know. We're just guessing. He could go somewhere else. But if Nebraska were to get him, I think that would really enhance their chances of getting some of those other high-level players, just for the fact of having a quarterback in your class.
Well, the other interesting note for him, too, is he is a pro-style quarterback. And Nebraska, obviously, this last spring, when they made I don't want to say the cuts, but when they went from 6 quarterbacks to 3, more the pocket types left campus, and you're left with 3 dual threat quarterbacks. And again, with any athlete, it's kind of hard to tell. Some guys are stone feet. They're not going to move around in the pocket. Some guys can kind of move despite being labeled pro style quarterbacks. So I don't know how much of that, it kind of factors in, but I think it's kind of interesting. Kamari McClellan, the other quarterback that they had kind of circled and kind of looked at, and is, I think, still planning on visiting in early June, and haven't offered quite yet, also a pro style quarterback. So there's somewhat of a narrative going forward that they're only going to be getting a running quarterback, and what would they do if Dylan committed or whatever. But I think they're definitely looking for a quarterback first, more so than an athlete.
And I think the running quarterback narrative has been out there because that's what they've said, but that's also what they have on roster.
Right.
I think this is a coaching staff that when it came in said, we will take a look at guys, see where they fit best, see how we can best use them. And I think when Matt Rule and Marcus Satterfield sat down and looked at that quarterback room, they saw a lot of athletes. A lot of guys that can move. It's like, okay, we're going to use the quarterback run game. Mm-hmm. Again, think about how they've described Jeff Sims. He's not a running back that can throw. He's a passer that can also run. They bring that up about Jeff Sims when we're all talking about the run game. Yeah, we'll use it, but we want to develop him as a passer first. So my guess is they aren't fully bought into a running quarterback scheme long-term. If they find the best guy out there for them is a running quarterback, they'll work it in. But I still think this is going to be a, more pro style first, where the legs are secondary. Used, but not focused on.
Going on Daniel Kalen's 24/7 sports profile, Alan True, national recruiting analyst, wrote this about Daniel Kalen's athletic ability. First off, his projection is a Power 5 starter, and his comparison. Ready for this? Mm-hmm. And don't take these too
Trevor
seriously.
Lawrence.
No.
Andrew Luck.
Joe Burrow.
You got another one?
Jameis Winston.
You guys are going way too. Kirk Cousins.
Hey.
Connor Cook.
I would accept Kirk Cousins.
Derek Carr.
Okay, whatever. Alan True writes, national recruiting analyst Alan True, back in March. Smart, accurate passer who had his first year as a full-time starter as a junior and was very productive. Took good care of the ball with an over 5-to-1 TD to interception ratio. Shows the ability to anticipate and throw into windows and throw his receivers open. Solid to good arm strength. Very effective as an intermediate passer. Throws it well enough down the field to keep defenses honest, but would not be currently classified as elite in velocity category. The same with his athleticism. He can move in the pocket and does a nice job of throwing on the run, even when it is back across his body. Can run when needed, but is not a true running threat. So I think that kind of goes along what you were saying, Austin, where they'll use the quarterback run game when they need to, but in terms of using it as their main source of offense, that's going forward, that's not really what they're trying to do.
Kirk Cousins is an interesting comp. I had to look up his stats. He threw for 9,000 yards in college, 64% completion rate, 66 touchdowns to 30 interceptions, 146 QBR. Fine, solid, pretty good. Michigan State had some success. What if we go Brock Purdy? Not just because, Mr. Irrelevant and everything did with the Niners.
And
Brock
his
Purdy,
brother is here.
Right. Brock Purdy in college threw for 12,000 yards, 67.7% completion, 81 touchdowns, 33 picks.
Well, then.
I take that. I sign up for that.
Yeah.
It never threw double-digit picks in a season, Brock didn't. So
that would be a nice change of pace.
I mean,
wouldn't it?
He did throw 3 against Iowa in one game, but
well, that's an elite
digress.
defense.
Well, yeah, that's right. That's
that you face in the Big Ten is the problem.
You're right. So Daniel Kalen, again, he started his first year as a junior. So his first year starting as a true starter was this last season, where he got up to a 3-star and with all these Power 5 offers, passed for 3,186 yards and 36 touchdowns to only 7 interceptions this last season for Bellevue West. And like Bach said, he's got a duo of teammates who Nebraska really wants to have here in Isaiah McMorris and Davon Hall. 2 very athletic, very talented wide receivers. I think Davon Hall took 3rd in the high jump this year at state track, jumping over 6 feet 6 inches, or jumping right at 6 feet 6. So you get somebody like that. You get Isaiah McMorris, who is a 3-time back-to-back state basketball champion. He wasn't, a star on any of those teams, but he was there, and he did play a vital role this last season for Bellevue West. His first 2 seasons, he was at Millard North and won there. So you get 2 guys who are supremely athletic. If possibly you can get Daniel Kalen. I'm not saying that if you get him, you get them, but there is a connection there where you keep the teammates together. You keep the wide receivers catching passes from the same quarterback through high school. I mean, that would make you feel a lot better about landing those 2 talented wide receivers out of the state of Nebraska.
Again, you start, if you're in Nebraska, with Daniel Kalen. Get him in the fold, get a quarterback in the class, an in-state guy that might have some untapped potential. Then, once you get him signed, you tell him to throw the ball to those 2 all year. Go back on everything your coaches tell you to do. Just get the ball to those 2 guys. Make them happy.
That's it.
Pump up their egos. Bring them to Lincoln with you.
Well, I think the way that they've kept in contact with, obviously kept in contact with Daniel Kalen more than likely, but the way that they've kept pushing things with Davon Hall and with Isaiah McMorris, and the fact that I think Isaiah is coming for another visit here shortly. However, Davon hasn't. We talked to Brian Munson the other day, and I think he said Davon hasn't visited Nebraska in quite some time. I'm thinking that might change now with the decommitment of Daniel Kalen and the fact that they're still in conversations with those 2 wide receivers and getting Isaiah to come back for another visit after he had gone out to USC for a visit. And that's a big visit to follow up.
Yeah.
That should also help. And I know you say focus on Daniel Kalen. Obviously you should do that. But I believe that the contact that you've kept with the wide receivers and the way that you've built those relationships up with your new wide receivers coach might actually help going into getting Daniel Kalen, because you get those wide receivers, possibly you get those guys, they talk the quarterback into following them, or vice versa.
Well, and Sean Callahan was on early break yesterday too, or 2 days ago now, and was kind of saying with Hall and McMorris that it seemed a couple weeks ago that they were kind of fading, but he gave credit to Garrett McGuire for getting Nebraska back in the mix of things, and says they're squarely in the picture for him. So now you look at McMorris, again, just following what Callahan said there, Southern Cal, like you said too, Rico, probably the team to beat there. Is the offer committable? That's one thing to kind of look at. Davon Hall, maybe, Callahan said maybe Arkansas team to look out for there. So, I mean, it is the level of the talent in the state. It's no longer beating out Kansas and Kansas State and Missouri in this case, which it can still be at times. But you look at the McMorris and like a Carter Nelson, if they were able to get the top 5 guys in the state, which I would say Carter Nelson, Hall, McMorris, Kalen, they already have Ashton Murphy. I mean, you can argue at number 5 or whatever, but if they can get how much would that do? Not just with the connection with this Bellevue West, the lost connection to Omaha. Maybe it's more prominent in basketball than it is in football, but it would be huge in that topic. But I mean, it's the whole fading of the program that we've been talking about. Is these kids, they didn't grow up with Nebraska being great. In fact, you think about when they started paying attention to football, it was probably slightly after Ndamukong Suh was here. So, I mean, they probably didn't even, get a live out. And I don't want to speak for them. It depends on when your football fandom starts. But, you're in that kind of territory. So it's not the same where it used to be where, if you're committing to Nebraska, you're committing to one of the top programs in the nation. So to get these guys, and it wouldn't just be, hey, it's the top 5 guys in the state. It'd be, these are legit national prospects, not just a couple local teams want to take a look at them.
Breaking news on the Isaiah McMorris front. He tweets 2 eyes emojis.
Yep.
Hey,
quote tweeted the decommitment from Daniel Kalen with 2 eye emojis. You see another quote tweet on Jalen Lloyd, GBR.
Okay.
The track star and Husker football / track signee Jalen Lloyd, fresh off of a double dip of championships at the state track meet of long jump and triple jump, and I believe a second place finish in the 100, tweeting GBR at the Missouri decommitment of Daniel Kalen. And so you were talking about getting the top 5 guys in the state. It's kind of like that 2018 class where Scott Frost came in, re-recruited some of the guys after Mike Riley got fired, got Cam Jurgens. I see I have to go through here real quick just to make sure I get everybody correct. Give me 1 second while
Don't miss anyone. Don't be disrespectful.
I don't want to. Was it that 2018? I thought it was that 2018 class. Could have been 2019, where it was Cam Jurgens, the 2 players out of Burke. I don't know why I'm missing out on these names right now.
Well, Henrich was from Burke and Hickman.
Henrich and Hickman, who were both nationally recruited. And there was another one. Oh, Garrett. Nelson. Yeah. So it was like that class, although it doesn't look like they were in the 2018 class. They might have been in the 2019 class. Yeah, Garrett Snodgrass. All those guys, just getting those top guys out of the state of Nebraska. I think it was 2018, 2019 class, both of those. But Cam Jurgens was in that 2018 class, being recruited highly, a 4-star tight end, the 193rd prospect in the nation, number 7 tight end number 7 tight end in the nation. And re-recruiting him after Mike Riley got fired and being able to keep him, and then obviously switching him to center, that was a big get. And that's kind of like what you're talking about, is keeping the top guys in the state. And it hopefully looks like that might be what Matt Rule and company are trying to do with Daniel Kalen's decommitment from Missouri. Oh, sorry. So many words.
But it's a big deal.
It is. In case anybody missed it, as I just said, Daniel Kalen, Bellevue West quarterback, 3-star quarterback in the class of 2024, decommits from Missouri. This coming on the heels of Dylan Raiola's commitment to Georgia, Nebraska having to switch things up in their quarterback search front for the class of 2024. A guy that I personally thought was probably ungettable for Nebraska after his commitment to Missouri and the peer recruiting and the tweeting that he'd been doing about the Missouri Tigers, decommits, and Nebraska's right back in it.
What it tells me is that you and Strick don't value Bellevue West enough to continually talk to this man. If you were true alums, you pump up the University of Nebraska system. I know you were at Kearney. I get that, but still the Nebraska system. Strick went from Bellevue West down to Lincoln. If you were true Thunderbirds, you would have been in contact with him the whole time.
I don't know the guy.
That's the problem. You're not dedicated enough. That's the entire problem.
I'm surprised Strick doesn't know him.
Strick might.
He probably does.
Strick knows everybody.
Strick does know everybody. That is true. But that's going to do it for our first segment. A little curveball thrown at us right before the show started. When we come back, maybe we'll spend a little bit more time on this. Maybe we can get some help from the text line if anybody wants to text in their thoughts on the Daniel Kalen decommitment from Missouri, 402-464-5685. We'll spend a little bit more time on that and the recruiting possibilities for Nebraska football this upcoming recruiting cycle. And maybe we'll hit on a little bit of NBA as the Lakers go down 2-0 to the Denver Nuggets, head back to LA for game 3. How important is this game 3 for LA? Obviously, you don't want to go down 3-0, but how much closer can they get unless Jamal Murray has another crazy fourth quarter? Up next on the Happy Hour.
Follow Nick and Enrique on Twitter at Nick_Sainert and at Radio Rico AC. More of Happy Hours next on 93.7 The Ticket and theticket.com.
Dive into good times and great savings when you take advantage of the above swimming pool sale happening now at Bonzal and Spa. All in-stock swimming pools are 50% off through the end of May while supplies last. You don't want to miss out on this hot deal. Visit our showroom at 33rd and Pioneers today. Learn more about the promotion at bonzalpool.com. Bonzal Pool and Spa, every day made better.
Spring is here, and it's time to wake up Judson. Judson Irrigation is eager and ready to get your sprinkler system up and running for the season. Judson's technicians will check for winter damage, adjust your sprinkler heads, and show you how to set cooler for effective sprinkling coverage. The Judson Irrigation team is here for you. Stay safe.
Keep summer green. 402-420-6277 or judsonirrigation.com.
GE Landscape Supply countless times without even knowing at 6701 Cornhusker Highway. Now it's time to stop in. GE Landscape Supply sells to homeowners and contractors with a vast selection of landscaping and construction materials. They sell in bulk to save you money, and you can buy anything from a 5-gallon bucket to a semi-load. And don't forget, they deliver anywhere. Stop by 6701 Cornhusker Highway from 7 a.m. to 6 p.m. Monday to Friday and 7 a.m. to 4 p.m. on Saturdays. Go to GELandscapesupply.com or call 402-467-1627.
Hey, it's Nicklin Hames from Nebraska Volleyball. I hate wasting time in practice, and I want to help you stop wasting your time when you're looking for an electrician. High Electric has been serving the area for over 30 years for both residential and commercial properties. They are experts in everything like remodeling, new additions, hot tub installation, and more. They take reps from Beatrice to Omaha and all towns, big or small, in between. Call them today at 402-466-6606 or learn more at high-electric.com.
This is Brian at Midwest Bank, and we've been proudly serving clients in the Lincoln community since 2008, and we're excited to open a second location in January 2024 at 70th and Pioneers Boulevard. Our new branch will provide all the convenience service for in a bank, along with the staff we're known for. Whether you're starting a business or expanding your business, our team is here for you, your community, your bank, Midwest Bank. Find out more at midwestbank.com, member FDIC.
Integrated Life Choices has been inspiring opportunities for individuals with disabilities for 15 and across Nebraska by offering a number of services. From group homes to independent living resources and job training, you'll find the support that allows people to live fulfilling lives. They're also hiring. If you're looking for a rewarding career supporting people with developmental disabilities, you can check out open positions along with learning more about services at ilc.net. Integrated Life Choices.
Springtime is here, and it's time to get to work on outdoor projects. Deck City is a great place to start as Lincoln's local source for everything decks. Deck City has everything you need to build the deck of your dreams, from treated lumber to Westbury aluminum railings and TimberTech composite decking. Call them today to schedule an appointment at 402-480-6671. Go online at deckcityne.com or visit their new location just north of 33rd and Cornhusker Highway.
Working at Continental in Lincoln isn't a job, it's a career. And right now they've raised wages again and they're hiring for production operators at $24.11 per hour, which grows to $28.27 per hour within 3 years. Skilled trade positions now start at $32.76 per hour with opportunities to make more based on certifications. Continental also has salary jobs available and great benefits, plus medical and prescription costs at very low premiums. Dental, vision, and life insurance are offered at no premium cost to the associates, with increased bonuses and vacation for new hires. To learn more or to apply, go to continental-jobs.com with keyword Lincoln. Come work at Continental today. If you're interested in installing solar panels in Nebraska, there's a name you need to know. Solar by Alpine Electric is based out of Lincoln, and you can be sure your project will be handled with care and detail because Rick, the owner of Solar by Alpine Electric, will be involved in the entire process from start to finish. We're an REC Solar Certified Pro installer and handle jobs in Lincoln and the surrounding area. Let us show you real-time results in your area. Call Rick today at 402-440-4371. Solar by Alpine Electric.
You don't think about your roof very often, but you should never take it for granted. Roofing Service Company takes every measure to provide you with the highest quality roofing solution. Whether it's a new roof installation, roof repair, or a re-roofing project, their overall goal is to provide you with a pleasant experience and a long-lasting roof. If you have a need for siding or gutters, they're your place too. Visit roofingservicecompany.com for more info today.
Early break with Sip and Jake.
McMurphy has Nebraska in the Las Vegas Bowl. That would be incredible. That would be absolutely amazing. Here's when the Vegas Bowl is. It's before Christmas. It is so easy to get to Las Vegas for Nebraska fans. There's now a direct flight from Lincoln via Redway, the new at Lincoln Airport. Omaha has direct flight. Grand Island has direct flights to Vegas.
It would be flooded with Nebraska.
It would be awesome.
Early break with Sip and Jake from 6 to 8 every weekday morning. You're listening to the Happy Hour with Nick Sainert and Enrique Alvarez Clary.
Look at me. This plane is going to Jamaica.
Sponsored by Empire Fence and Netting on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Back to the happy hour here on 93.7 The Ticket. I would like to shout out an anonymous texter, 1522 of the last 4 digits. I would also like to say hi. That is all they said.
It's them. Hi. They're the problem. It's
I will
them.
send it back. Hi. Hello. How are you? I hope you're having a wonderful day. Mass Texter asked bets when I was talking about that really good class of Nebraska players that Nebraska got. I was talking about the 2019 class, not the 2018 class. And Betts was in the 2020 class, just throwing numbers out there. That 2019 class was supposed to be amazing. If anybody remembers that 2018 class, number 18 in the country, Wan'Dale Robinson, the headliner of that class. He
was pretty good.
He was okay. Nick Henrich, the highest rated player out of Nebraska in that class, number 147 inside linebacker out of Burke High School. His teammate, we're going to keep scrolling down. His teammate, Chris Hickman, a pretty highly rated tight end, number 438 in the country. And then just keeping all the guys in the state, Garrett Nelson, also part of that class, Garrett Snodgrass, and Ethan Piper, all part of that class from the state of Nebraska, that 2019 class, where we all were extremely excited when they kept I think that was the top 5 players in the state, or at least the top 4 for sure in the state of Nebraska, to go join the Nebraska Cornhuskers. And yeah, that was a good class. That was a good class.
That's weird that Garrett Snodgrass is in the same class as Wan'Dale and Garrett Nelson, because he's like a junior, and I still kind of think of him as like he's kind of up and coming.
I'm just like, yeah, he's young.
Yeah, he's young. He's an up and comer.
Well, there's another Snodgrass, right?
Yeah. Are there 2 Snodgrass?
I think there's 2.
Well, his dad was the coach.
Is there another Snodgrass?
I think that he has been on.
There's another player from York.
So I think he's been on the team so long that you think there are 2
Simon Odie
Snodgrass.
was from York.
Yeah. Was it Odie or Ott?
That was Odie.
Drew Ott. You're right.
It was Drew Ott, and I know some of my good friends are the Otties, spelled the exact same way. Drew Ott doesn't have the E on the end, though.
Yeah,
so.
no, that's too much. I remember Drew Ott went to Iowa, and that was a big
Drew
deal.
Ott. Oh, he's really good.
That was a massive deal for everybody. People were upset about that.
Yeah.
Oh well, it happens.
That's what they should have been.
The breaking news of the day, which we have talked about for quite some time. Daniel Kalin, the 6'2", 198 pro-style quarterback out of Bellevue West, decommits from the University of Missouri and is now a free agent on the recruiting market once again.
He's just a recruit again.
Just a free agent on the recruiting market. I like saying
he's not a
that
free
better.
agent.
He's a free agent on the recruiting
Although
market.
with NIL these days, I suppose maybe he is.
Just a regular old recruit.
Here's a trivia question for you. In that 2019 class you're talking about,
I'm not looking at it right now, so go ahead.
Who were the number, see if I can scroll here, number 6 and 7 players in the state of Nebraska?
2019.
So the top 5 you already had were Henrich, Hickman, Snodgrass, Nelson, and Piper. You got 6 and 7. One of them you should know. One of them I'd be very impressed if you got.
Where did they go? Or is that going to give it away?
It'll give one of them away. The one that you don't know went to Texas State to play quarterback.
Yeah, I'm not going to get that.
Cedric Case.
Yeah, I'm not going to get that.
Okay, number 7 then. This is the one you should know.
Is it Is that too early or too? Is that Noah?
It is not Noah. Is Noah played in 2019?
You're right. Yeah, I don't know who it is.
Nuri.
Nuri.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Went to Colorado State.
Yep.
I had a high school show on this station at that time, and I remember talking about Nuri. Obviously, this is before I met him, before I knew him. And I was saying that I thought that he was really good and Nebraska should at least offer him a walk-on spot. And they didn't. And he went to Colorado State, and I was like, that's a miss. And then he came back. So it all worked out.
Did he go? Was Steve Adazio there when he was? Did he commit to Adazio?
Good question.
I don't know. I know that he started as a freshman.
Yeah,
not right away, but he ended up being a starter.
Yeah, and that's why he was able to, transfer here.
Yeah.
Steve Adazio was his last year at Boston College was 2019, so Nuri would have played for him for a year or two.
Okay,
for those 2 years, I guess.
I was trying to think. Colorado State's had some interesting coaches over the years.
Some fun coaches. We'll just say that.
Yeah, I like Steve Adazio.
Now we're going down this rabbit hole.
Are we going down the rabbit hole?
We're going down this rabbit hole. Okay. Let's see. So
here we go down the rabbit hole. Also, update on Nebraska.
Yeah, don't
that time to update it, but I'm gonna update it anyway because I said I would. Update on Nebraska baseball. They were leading 3-0 against Purdue. We are now in the bottom of the 6th, and they are down 7-3. Purdue has a man on third with 2 outs, and they
be out of the inning.
And now they're out of the inning. So Nebraska gets out of the inning, but are down 7-3 going into the top of the 7th. This game, although Nebraska's already in the Big Ten tournament that will be in Omaha starting next week, winning these games, sweeping Purdue would go a long way in helping them get a better seed, I believe.
Yeah.
Because right now they are 5th, 4th?
Yes.
Around that area in seeding. So if they were able to sweep Purdue or just win 2 out of 3 at least, that would go a long way in keeping them in a better spot in the Big Ten tournament. And just winning these games would help them not drop in RPI, although winning it
the RPI doesn't matter.
Probably would drop them.
It doesn't matter at all.
Yeah, RPI doesn't matter. They have to win the Big Ten tournament to make it in the NCAA tournament. That's just kind of a thing that has to happen. Win the Big Ten tournament, make the NCAA tournament. If you don't win, you're probably not in. That's
exactly how
that's exactly what's going to happen with Nebraska. A team that is in the NCAA tournament, Nebraska softball begins play today at 6 p.m. down in Stillwater. They take on the Wichita State Shockers, who are number 20, or they're in the top 25 in the nation. And Nebraska did play them twice this season at the Shocker Classic earlier this season, and they lost both of those games. One of them they got run ruled. The other one they lost by 2 runs. That is the same with the host university of Oklahoma State. They played them twice this year, got run ruled down in Florida. And then in Arizona, I believe they lost by 2 runs. I believe it was 3-1 that they lost to the Cowgirls. So Nebraska down in a tough regional. Also, UMBC is there. Nebraska.
God bless UMBC.
Nebraska.
That Virginia team needed to be sat down on its butt. Hated that group.
The Nebraska softball team gets the Shockers first, and then the winner or loser, depending on if they win or lose, of Oklahoma State and UMBC. That regional goes on from starting today, should end around Sunday, and should end Sunday. And we'll see if they make it to a super regional, where more than likely Arkansas will be awaiting the winner of this regional.
Whether they go down to
whether they go down to Stillwater or they have to go up to Arkansas, we'll see what happens.
Seems to be a theme among like baseball, softball postseason is that Arkansas and Oklahoma State will be in there somehow.
They'll be there.
Remember that time Nebraska baseball won the Big Ten and still got shipped off to the number 1 overall seed?
Yeah. And
that almost won the dang thing.
And almost did it.
A great game.
And almost did it. Well,
I mean, my honeymoon for that.
I mean, last year, Nebraska softball won the Big Ten and got shipped off to Stillwater.
You were on your honeymoon in Little Rock?
No.
Myrtle Beach,
but what's the
difference? You don't honeymoon in Little Rock?
I was gonna say that's
you really convinced. Do people on honeymoon in Little Rock?
I don't think
I didn't put a Little Rock on her finger, so we were gonna have a better.
I see what you did. Nice. But yeah, both baseball teams, when they win the Big Ten, just get shipped off to very hard regions. As Nebraska was down in Stillwater last year, didn't make it out of the region, but Oklahoma State did make it all the way to the Women's College World Series.
Yeah.
With one of their pitchers throwing, I don't know, probably every pitch for that team, just striking out everybody. She was a strikeout machine. It was crazy to watch. But again, Nebraska plays Wichita State. Nebraska softball plays Wichita State today at 6. I believe that one's on ESPNU, so you can watch that if you're not down in Stillwater. But I mean, if you're not down there now, I don't think
probably too late.
I don't think you're going to get there in time for the game.
Yeah,
we'll see what happens though. But going on from that, we'll hit a little bit on the NBA as the conference finals continue. The Denver Nuggets take a commanding, I don't know about commanding, but take a 2-0 lead over the Los Angeles Lakers as the series shifts to Los Angeles for games 3 and 4. Gentlemen, what did you think of Jamal Murray's explosive performance in the fourth quarter of that game?
Just insane. That was Bubble Murray back again. The fourth quarter scoring for the Nuggets was like 6 points from Michael Porter Jr. and the rest was Jamal Murray.
But timely ones from Porter too. I mean, they did count. And you know, I said this before, and I'll continue to say with Jamal Murray, he might not be a top 25 player, but he's a top 25 guy. With the ball in his hands with 2 minutes left, or you know, when you need a shot. He showed that last night, and again, it's fun because it wasn't just, you know, passing the ball around and they give. I mean, these were like ISO or switch off threes. He was just kind of taking LeBron one-on-one, hit 2 of them in his face. You know, kind of lulled AD to sleep, step back, took a 3. I mean, that was fun stuff. And, you know, he's one of those guys, you know, he can shoot, you know, you know, he can go 3 of 19. You know?
He can shoot you into a game or shoot you out of the game.
Yeah. And Denver seriously is going to need him. But I thought it was interesting too, because throughout the middle part of that fourth quarter, they were playing without Jokic even on the floor. Which is interesting. So the Lakers are in trouble. I mean, I think they've done a good job, remember, of just kind of changing the narrative of the season to where they probably shouldn't, you know, barely were going to make the playoffs to begin with. And then, of course, traded for all those good pieces. But, you know, with Lakers mania, whenever the Lakers do anything or when LeBron gets going, people start to put them on a pedestal. And I'm not saying now, I mean, this series isn't over. I'm just saying this isn't like one of the better Lakers teams, you know, of all time or anything. So, yeah,
I don't know, man. Don't disrespect them.
I mean, who's their third option?
LeBron,
Reeves.
AD. Reeves is that guy now.
Rui Hachimura.
He's been playing well.
Like halfway through the second quarter, they were like, he still hasn't missed a shot. He's 5 for 5. And I was like, hey, he's taking 5 shots. Cool.
Great. Congratulations.
D'Angelo Russell is struggling, though.
Yeah, it's not going great for him. Got called for a flagrant 1 early in the game when he smacked Jamal Murray in the face trying to go for a block. You know, it was a flagrant. You hit him in the face. I can't really get too upset about that. But yeah, they're gonna need more out of everybody on that team. That includes LeBron James, who, you know, I keep seeing these texts on the text line about how he struggled in the fourth quarter and how he kept having the ball in his hands and taking ill-advised shots. I mean, when you're LeBron James, I don't really think anything's an ill-advised shot.
Yeah, well, he was like 0 of 6 from beyond the arc. And, you know, so at that point, you say maybe you want to drive the ball a little bit more. But again, he's LeBron James. If you're 0 of 6, LeBron, you're almost thinking like, I'm due. You know,
I've got to hit one at some point.
I know I'm one of the best basketball players of all time. So, yeah, you know, so, I mean, it did work out. Now, also, too, I want to say this, because I think it ultimately came down to a few missed threes by Anthony Davis. He's got to knock those down because those are wide open. Obviously not his forte, but you know that's what almost every one of these playoff games comes down to: all the competitiveness, and then you know,
make or miss game.
Yeah, make or miss league.
Well, make or miss. Speaking of make or miss, how do you think Boston's doing tonight, Buck?
Well, I'm a little bit worried about it. Obviously, if they fall down 2-0 and head back to Miami, I think they're the better team in this series. And, you know, I think it's going to be a tough series, but they need to win tonight, obviously. Miami, I think is a little bit disrespected, obviously, because of their own seeding. But people forget that's basically the same roster that was the number 1 seed last year. So, I mean, yes, it's surprising that they've made this run because they had struggled all season long, but it was within them all along. And they, you know, had injuries they fought with all series long. I don't think they're going to, you know, all of their role players played really well in game 1, and Jimmy. I doubt that's going to happen every game this series. So I think Boston.
It doesn't have to happen every game this series. Is the problem? It only has to happen 3 more times.
Well, yeah,
Buck,
I get 50% of the time.
Buck, I'm going to let you know, as a team that just faced them, It won't, but you're still going to lose. I don't know how, but it happens.
No offense, Rico, but I think
But
the
it
Celtics
happens.
are a little built a little better than the Knicks.
Nah. The Knicks beat the Celtics. The Knicks won the series over the Celtics this season.
Yeah, all right.
So obviously the Knicks are better than the Celtics. That's
Right.
just science.
This was
I'm sorry,
your-
you don't have a Jalen Brunson.
Yeah, I'll take a Jaylen Brown instead.
Sure you will.
Never mind a Jason Tatum.
Yeah, but you don't
Is his hand the swing factor in this series?
Jalen?
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know. I mean, I just want Jason Tatum and Jaylen Brown both to be hot together. Like it's always one or the other. It's just like, man, if they both get going, they're going to be unstoppable.
They would be.
Were they the highest scoring duo across the season in NBA history?
Yeah. And they were the only two pair of teammates to be on the first and second team. They just choose night in and night out.
All right, whose game is it? Yours? Mine? I'll take this one. I'll take this one. You take the time off. All right, we got you. That's usually what happens with Boston for whatever reason. They're gonna need who guards Jimmy Butler. Were they switching off Tatum and Brown and maybe throw Marcus Smart in there?
Yeah, Jalen seems to get in foul trouble if he's guarding too close. So yeah, I mean they were switching off. I don't know. Jimmy's also a guy that, like, I mean, obviously he's had the best playoff run this playoffs, but he's a guy that can get 18 points and then nobody puts any pressure on him. They're like, well, yeah.
Oh yeah, he has 18.
You know what I mean? Like if Jason Tatum gets 18 points, like, well, he didn't do enough. He needs to shoot more.
Yeah.
If Jimmy he'll have 2 or 3 games this series. We'll just get scoring or 20.
He'll
be like, well, yeah, he doesn't have any help.
Yeah, he'll score 17 and grab like 5 boards and have like 2 assists, and people are just like, it was a good game from Jimmy Butler.
Jimmy.
He did really good. It's just like that doesn't make any sense.
He's in a good spot. I don't know how he gets that favor, but
because he's not a superstar, but every once in a while he'll have a superstar game.
Yeah.
Everybody just goes, this is the Jimmy Butler we know, but then he plays like subpar, and they're just like, well, I mean,
But
look
it's
at what
just
he has.
funny,
Look what he has around him.
When he has a good game, he's got that dog in him. But you don't hear that about Jason Tatum. When Jason Tatum has a good game, it's like, oh, he's still soft.
Oh yeah, good job, Jason. You should be doing that.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't get it. Is one of the less criticized superstar?
Yeah.
Is Jimmy Butler a superstar?
In the playoffs, not in the regular
Playoff
season.
Jimmy is definitely a superstar.
Yeah.
Is regular season Jimmy a superstar, or is he just a star?
I think
because there is a difference.
I think Jimmy Butler would have to lean into being a superstar. You know, all the other guys seem like they accept it and they want it a little bit more. They're more, upfront in the face of their team. We just don't think about the Heat. And I think some of that is the fact that, as high maintenance as Jimmy Butler was, by the end of his time in Chicago and Minnesota, he doesn't have that personality where he's always out in front. He was there to get out of Minnesota. He was high profile in Philadelphia just because of that team and how it was constructed. But for all the success Miami's had in the last decade and a half, I think it's still an under the radar kind of NBA franchise. So when Jimmy Butler isn't going off for 40, I think most people don't even think about him.
Well, damn. Sorry, Jimmy.
Also, if you're in the middle of who you should cheer for here, remember Jimmy Butler hates Fred Hoiberg. So if you're a Husker fan, you got to cheer for the Huskers.
True.
or for
Although I'm
Celtics.
never going to cheer for Boston. I do remember that. All right, up next, I think Strick's here. I'm not.
No,
100%.
Strick is in Dallas.
Strick is in Dallas. Is he?
He's
gonna...
on the show.
Okay, he'll be in. Maybe he'll stream in. I'm not sure, but we've got the crossover next, whether he shows up or not. We'll talk about whatever happens. Maybe we'll hit on a little bit more Daniel Kalen, since some people who are just joining probably missed out on that. If you haven't heard, the Bellevue West quarterback 2024 recruit 3-star who was committed to Missouri decommitted earlier this hour from the University of Missouri. Daniel Kalen back on the board for Nebraska. We'll see what happens in the next couple of months, whatever recruiting cycle, whatever happens. Daniel Kalen decommits from Missouri. We'll see what happens with Nebraska up next on the Happy Hour.
Download our app by searching 93.7 The Ticket in your app store to stay in touch and listen all day long wherever you are. More of the Happy Hour is next on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
You've driven by GE Landscape Supply countless times, likely without even knowing. At 6701 Cornhusker Highway. Now it's time to stop in. GE Landscape Supply sells to homeowners and contractors with a vast selection of landscaping and construction materials. They sell in bulk to save you money, and you can buy anything from a 5-gallon bucket to a semi-load. And don't forget, they deliver anywhere. Stop by 6701 Cornhusker Highway from 7 a.m. to 6 p.m. Monday to Friday and 7 a.m. to 4 p.m. on Saturdays. Go to GELandscapeSupply.com for more info or call 402-467-1627.
They are our love bugs and companions. They are our pets, our family, and they make life better. When we face unexpected challenges, so do our pets. That's why we're on a mission to support people. Donating a bag of kibble, sharing an Instagram post of a pet, or welcoming a foster pet into your home. Every bit of kindness counts. Visit petsandpeopletogether.org to learn how to be a helper in your community. Brought to you by Maddie's Fund, the Humane Society of the United States, and the Ad Council.
Integrated Life Choices has been inspiring opportunities for individuals with disabilities for more than 15 years in Lincoln and by offering a number of services. From group homes to independent living resources and job training, you'll find the support that allows people to live fulfilling lives. They're also hiring. If you're looking for a rewarding career supporting people with developmental disabilities, you can check out open positions along with learning more about services at ilc.net. Integrated Life Choices.
Hi, it's Tori DeVito. In every family, small conversations can make a big impact. Your honesty about that part of your life gave me a sense of integrity that I wanted to uphold in my own life.
I wanted you to know from someone who's been in recovery more than 30 years now that hard work is what creates success, not alcohol or other drugs. I said it a lot, and I'm glad you took it to heart.
For more information, visit underagedrinking.samhsa.gov.
Sponsored by DHHS and aired in cooperation with the Nebraska Broadcasters Association and this station.
Rosie's Sports Bar and Grill, open for lunch and dinner at 10th and P or at 1501 Center Park Road.
John Henry's Plumbing, heating and air.
When it comes to your home or business, we know you have options, and that's why John Henry's Plumbing, Heating, and Air Conditioning gives you just that. Options. We have plumbing, heating, and cooling memberships to serve all of your residential and commercial needs. We want to ensure you, your family, and your business are safe. Visit our website, jhlincoln.com, to find out more or call us at
435-5555. John Henry's Plumbing, heating and air.
I'm Chris Jackmick. I served in the United States Air Force and I deployed 3 times. So in 2017, I was serving as an Air Force First Sergeant. That role is my job. People, every business. But unfortunately, I would lose my own brother, Lance Corporal Adam Mick, to suicide. The majority of veteran suicides are from guns. I store my weapons securely. My family, all your guns securely helps. My service never stops.
Brought to you by End Family Fire and the Ad Council.
Springtime is here, and it's time to work outdoor projects. Deck City is a great place to spend. Lincoln's local source for everything decks. Deck City has everything you need to build the deck of your dreams, from treated lumber to Westbury aluminum railings. And call them today to schedule an appointment at 402-671. Go online and down to their new location just north of 30th Highway.
We are celebrating Sales Month in April, and we're going to roll and crank up in the month of May. We have some big discounts and special interest rates going on this month on selected new in-stock Sierras and Silverados. Buy a Silverado or Sierra, get $3,000 off or 1.9% interest. You heard right, 1.9% interest. We have outstanding specials on all of our new and pre-owned GM certified units. So stop on in and see us or check us out online at couplecars.com. You'll be glad you did. New discount must trade in and finance with the roof credit.
Problem gambling affects more than the gambler. It affects spouses, children, extended family members, and friends. If you are a loved one who's struggling with addiction, contact Choices Treatment Center's helpline at 402-476-2300. That's 476-2300. Sandhills Global is hiring. Check out sandhills.jobs for more information. Sandhills is looking to fill hundreds of new openings in sales, traveling support, software development, web design, and more. Sandhills has a professional culture and is fast-paced with a focus on growth, innovation, and leading-edge technologies. Career and internship opportunities are available at our global headquarters in Lincoln, Nebraska. Apply today at sandhills.jobs.
This is Brian at Midwest Bank, and we've been proudly serving clients in the Lincoln community since 2008, and we're excited to open a second location in January 2024 at 70th and Pioneers Boulevard. Our new branch will provide all the convenient services you're looking for in a bank, along with the friendly staff we're known for. Whether you're starting a business or expanding your business, our team is here for you. Your community, your bank, Midwest Bank. Find out more at midwestbank.com. Member FDIC.
Tailored Life is now open in Bennett. Make the short drive down Highway 2. Tons of items for your home, both indoors and outdoors. Check out their variety of potted trees, shrubs, vines, perennials, and colorful annuals. Plus, porch pots and landscape lighting to enhance the outside of your home. Don't forget their home goods for indoors, plus convenient drinks and snacks, most which are produced locally. Visit Tailored Life today in Bennett and stay tuned to their Facebook page at Tailored Life 360 for food truck events coming up.
You're listening to the Happy Hour with Nick Sainert.
A gorilla bear versus polar bear? A what bear versus a what bear?
And Enrique Alvarez Clary.
A gorilla bear versus a polar bear. Polar bear.
One more time.
Gorilla versus a polar bear.
Sponsored by Empire Fence and Netting on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Every time I see Bob dance, it just makes me giggle a little bit. This is funny. Look at that. Look at that. Look at that guy. It's great. Love it.
Look at this dude.
Look at this dude.
Look at the size of his dance moves.
Bach, did you? No, you didn't get to go play VJ in basketball, right?
No, not
Are
yet.
you guys lining that up for some point?
Yeah, you know how things go, lining up things.
So 3 months down the line, you guys will probably be playing. At some point.
I get a little trial run. Well, actually, he hasn't played in like 10 years, he said, so I kind of want to get him going before he starts
Exactly.
working out a little
Hey,
bit.
you can't. No, he said that he could beat you, so let's go. No, get the practice before you do it. If you're talking track, get it done.
Yeah.
Right? Don't try that.
Hopefully, we'll set it up for next week. I'm quite confident.
Good,
I'm not
sir.
too worried about it.
Good
We can play
sir. Speaking of playing state baseball, the finals going on tonight at 7 p.m. from UNO Tal Anderson Field, 1 seed, the 29, well, hold on, 20, so 30, 31, 30, 32 and 6, number 1 seed Millard West Wildcats take on the 28, 29. They only played 2, so 29 and 4 Lincoln East Spartans. The 1 and the 2 seed, just as everybody predicted.
As it should be.
Millard West lost once during this tournament to Grand Island on Wednesday in Game 1 at Tal Anderson Field, but made up for it in Game 2 to make to the championship game. Lincoln East, no losses in this tournament. 2 wins over Bellevue West and Elkhorn. Actually, wins over Bellevue West and then Elkhorn South twice, as Elkhorn South made it through the losers bracket, as Grand Island did to face Millard West again. So Millard Wildcats, Lincoln East Spartan, and 2 seed playing at 7 p.m. tonight at Tal Anderson Field. Mike Melby, our very own Mike Melby, co-host of Husker Roast of the Finish Line on Sunday nights here on 93.7 The Ticket, former voice of the Lincoln Stars here on 93.7 The Ticket. Mike Melby will be on the call.
He'll be sitting outside for
game.
it.
Sitting outside because they're going to have broadcasts.
That's what I'm being told.
But broadcast, listen right here. 93.7 The Ticket. Listen to Mike, the sweet sound of Mike Melby's voice.
That's right. You don't get Melby on the TV broadcast.
No, you won't. You won't. It'll be sad for you if you watch the TV broadcast without Melby. You can sync it up.
Turn it down. Yeah.
Yeah. You
up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Turn the radio up. Turn the volume on your TV down.
One of my favorite things I laughed at all the time is when I was still at the old Husker Sports Network. Man,
The
rest
other
in peace.
place.
Yes. The number of people that would text or call to ask what TV channel the game was on. I'm not going to give you that information.
I'm not going to tell you.
We're the radio station. I'm not
That's
telling
awesome,
you the
yeah.
TV station. No, I'm not doing it.
I'm not going to do that for you. So when we used to have the Cubs on the airwaves, we had this guy call in like maybe once or twice a week and just ask us just questions about the Cubs. Like, I think he thought that we were like a Cubs station. So he would just ask us questions about the Cubs. And one time it was just hilarious because he just calls in and he goes, "Who's pitching for the Cubs tonight?" And we're just like, "I don't know. Let's look it up."
Tune in at 7.
You try to answer his questions every time?
Yeah, I would just, he would ask and I'd be like, "Give me a second." I would just look it up and I'd let him know.
All you have to do is look this up on Google.
So I was like, I could do it. I'll look it up for him. Why not?
Sound like a
Just who's Cubs? I have no. Let's figure this out for you before I send you away. So he figured it out, sent him away with it.
If any of our listeners want to talk Royals, call in during On the Block.
We'll talk Royals.
I will. I'll do it
all day, all night.
It'll kill me, but I'll do it.
Who's your favorite Royal of all time?
Favorite Royal
if
of all
it's not
time?
Alex Gordon, you're a heretic.
Outside of Alex Gordon.
It wasn't Alex Gordon, actually.
You're a heretic.
And obviously, Gordo's up there, but the guy to me from especially those championship teams was Lorenzo Cain.
Yeah.
I always pictured myself as a center, solid hitter. Loved the way he played, loved his attitude. My rankings of the Royals on those teams, it's Locaine, it's Salvi, Haas, Moose, Moose, Haas, Gordo.
Even Moose above Haas. That's interesting.
I do.
Did Kane was like coming back this year for like a bobblehead or something?
No, they retired his. He retired as a Royal, and then he'll go.
They send a one-day
Did that
contract
happen?
to retire.
Yeah, that happened against the Athletics.
Okay.
Well, since we're talking baseball, I just
RIP
want to throw out that my Yankees are now 4th in the AL East with a 26-20 record.
Good for those spunky little underdogs getting out of the cellar.
I'm glad nobody ever talks
in the
about
powerhouse AL.
Great job. Look, they swept the A's. They won 2. They split the series with the Rays, a 4-game series, 2-2, and they won the series against the Blue Jays, 3-1. So making their way back up the rankings in the AL East. While your Boston Red Sox are 24-20. Every team in the AL East has a winning record.
Yeah. I don't care. The AL East standings aside, as long as the Red Sox go above 500, I'll be happy.
You sure about that?
Well, pretty much, considering what I thought they were going to be coming into the
Did you know that the Red Sox, if they were in the AL Central, they'd be tied for first with the Minnesota Twins?
Yeah.
If they're in the
AL Mid.
If they were in the AL West, they would be, I guess, technically third behind the Houston Astros and the Texas Rangers, who the Texas Rangers are leading AL West, in case anybody was wondering.
That offense is legit.
They'd be second in the NL East behind the Atlanta Braves, who were 27-16.
But only a game up on the Marlins.
They'd be second in the NL Central behind the Milwaukee Brewers, who are 24-19, just because of the percentage. One less game,
one more win, one less loss.
Yes. No, just one loss.
Oh, so sorry, we're comparing the Red Sox.
Yeah. They would actually be third in the NL West behind the Dodgers and the Diamondbacks, who are second at 25-19.
Do you cheer for like your division in baseball?
No.
I don't think you can because those are all the biggest rivals.
You don't cheer for your division in baseball. You don't cheer for your conference in college football.
I cheer for my college.
No,
Huge
wrong.
Big Ten guy.
Bad and wrong.
Absolutely.
He sees
disgraceful.
He waits for bowl season, and he goes, "The Big Ten is doing great."
Big Ten. It used to matter, Austin, when Nebraska was decent, and then you would like compare them to the other schools. Now it doesn't matter as much when Nebraska sucks. And
I cheer against the conference.
You just shouldn't cheer against.
You only cheer for the conference in baseball when you need the RPI help.
Especially if Nebraska makes it to a bowl game. I want Nebraska to be the only win in bowl season for the conference.
But like now, if Nebraska's bad, would at least be bad in a good conference?
No. I want everyone else to be bad too.
Because guess what? It doesn't matter. Whether you're bad, if you're bad in a good conference, or if you're bad in a bad conference, you're bad. It doesn't.
We'll see once the 12 team is at large. You're gonna have to. Hopefully, your conference. How well your conference is doing might matter.
Are we gonna have RPI for football?
I think
is the thing.
Yeah.
Football style points matter.
Didn't we have a football RPI at one point?
Yeah, it was
See, here's the thing that cracks me up. Whenever we blame the computers for problems, we forget that they're humans plugging in the formulas behind the computers. So it's still human weighted. We don't talk about that enough.
The robots.
I love the BCS era. Every year they would change what they messed up the previous year, and you'd have them come into another problem the next year. It was awesome.
They wouldn't bring both WD-40 and duct tape. They'd bring one or the other.
Like, I would loosen this up. Okay, no. How could this team make it in? Figure it out. We can't do both. What's going on here? That's going to do it for the happy hour. Again, probably hit the next show on the block with Austin. Daniel Kalen, 2024 quarterback of USD, commits from Missouri. What does that mean for Nebraska? I don't know. They might get into it, but that's going to do it for the happy hour. Have a weekend, folks, and congrats to all the grads. Dive into good savings when you take advantage of the above-ground swimming pool sale happening now at Bonzall Pool and Spa. All in-stock swimming pools are 50% off through the... You don't want to miss out on this hot deal. Visit our showroom at 33rd and Pioneers today. Learn more at bonsallpool.com. Bonsall Pool and Spa. Every day.
V. Provide personalized service and the largest select liquid flavor in the state.
Generation V.
Generation V will beat or match any local competitor's price. With a huge selection, great service, and the lowest prices, Generation V is your top shop for all your vaping needs.
Generation V.
With 4 Lincoln locations, GenerationV.com. E-cigs contain nicotine. Nicotine is an addictive.
Attention all Wings fans. 89-cent wings are back on Tuesdays at Buffalo Wings and Rings in Lincoln. Enjoy the best wings in town for boneless or traditional at a price that makes the whole family happy. And now at the Williamsburg Village Wings and Rings, you can enjoy $1.50 tall boys in Bud Light, Coors Light, Busch Light, and Michelob Ultra every day after 7 p.m. and all day on Sundays. Get to Wings and Rings today and make sure to stop by on Tuesdays for 89-cent wings.
This is Lincoln's Candy Royals baseball.
Continental in Lincoln isn't a job, it's a career. And right, they've raised wages again and they're hiring for production operators to $28.27 per hour within 3 years. Skilled trade positions now start at $32.76 per hour with opportunities to make more occasions. Continental also has salary jobs available and great benefits, plus medical and prescription costs at very low premiums. Dental, vision, and life insurance are offered